and not. I need more mana.
Hi, Nesha is here. This is my level 84 character McRedHarvest, and the build is Occultist Bane plus Essence Drain, or as I like to call it, Bane is the king. Until GG decides to nerf Occultist, this is my favorite build. For the softcore league, I think Occultist is much better than Trickster, especially for Bane. This build is extremely easy to play. I can clear the whole map by using just Bane and my movement skill. For endgame bosses where I need more damage, I start with Wither Totems, next I cast Bane and follow with Essence Drain. For even more damage I can cast Vaal Righteous Fire. For defense, if I need to recharge my energy shield fast, I use Vaal Discipline. Both Bane and Essence Drain have around 5 seconds duration, meaning you can apply both and then be free to move and avoid boss damage. For movement I use dash, or if you prefer you can use flame dash. Now here is my low budget gear which I use to farm white and yellow maps. I use a wand and shield. If you prefer more damage you can use 2 wands. For the 5 link body armor, pick any with at least 300 energy shield. For helmet, look for minimum 200 energy shield. And for boots, look for 30% movement speed and at least 80 energy shield. Nice solution for boots is Syntrack unique boots. For gloves, look for cheap fingerless silk gloves with open prefix and option to add energy shield with your crafting bench. This way I paid only 5 chaos for my gloves and 2 chaos for crafting bench. The belt is also cheap, 1 chaos or less, and it is really good as a starting belt for maps. And here is my amulet and rings. The total cost for 2 rings and amulet was 3 chaos. Look for rings and amulet with a high amount of energy shield. If you have problems with mana, use Enduring Mana Flask. Also, it is good to have 1 flask with immunity to bleeding, 1 with immunity to freeze, and 1 with immunity to ignite. Later, when you switch to low life, you may need to use also flask with immunity to poison. In my body armor, I have Bane linked with Efficacy, Despair, Void Manipulation and Temporal Chains. In my gloves, I have Essence Drain linked with Efficacy, Void Manipulation and Controlled Destruction. In my boots, I have Wither linked with multiple totems, spell totems and faster casting. If you have only 3 sockets available, you can remove faster casting. Or use until you get multiple totems, you can use Wither linked with faster casting and spell totem. In my helmet I have dash linked with second wind and arcane surge. Instead of dash you can use a flame dash. I also have Vaal Righteous Fire in case I need more damage. In my shield I have Vaal Discipline and Summon Skitterbird. Those are two auras I use. And in my wand, until I switch to 6-link standard Essence Drain bow, I use Contagion linked with Intensify and Increase Area of Effect. This build is meant to play without Contagion, but at the start of maps, when I have 3 open sockets, why not and use Contagion. Now let's look at my passive tree. Since my last video I made a little changes. I was unable to get cheap cluster jewels, so I use those points to passive points to get no witnesses and gain 10% chance to gain elusive. It is a really nice buff, especially for movement. And also I got more energy shield with these 2 passives. Here is my ascendancy. I first pick Profane Bloom. It is really nice because you can curse, your curses can apply to hexproof enemies, and cursed enemies you or your minions kill have 25% chance to explode. So those explosions you see are from this Profane Bloom. Next I picked Malediction to have option to use second curse, to use 2 curses. And you can see 15% increase effect of your curses, which is really nice. And Malediction also gives 10% increased damage, and enemies deal 10% reduced damage. And next I picked Void Beacon, which is really nice damage buff. Nearby enemies have -20 to chaos resistance. And the last 2 points from Uber Labyrinth I spend on Withering Presence. It is really nice damage buff, +20 to chaos damage over time multiplier and 60% to chaos resistance, which will be nice when I switch to low life. At the moment I'm using CI, so I'm immune to chaos damage. I start using chaos inoculation when I started maps. Now here are some tips for leveling. When you start leveling, you first try to get where is it? Here it is, Hex Master. So that is your first goal, and you need to get to level 24 as fast as possible. I used Freezing Pulse at level 1 to level up, but you can use Mines and Orb of Storms to level up faster. I really don't like Mines, so I went with Freezing Pulse. At level 24 you can start using Bane linked with Void Manipulation and Despair. At level 31 you can start using Efficacy as your 4th link. Later, as your 5th link, you can use Swift Affliction. Essence Drain is linked with Void Manipulation and Control Destruction. At level 31 you can add Efficacy. Also, when you reach level 70, try to get cheap corrupted level 20 Essence Drain and level 20 Bane. Usually when you reach level 70 your Bane and Essence Drain will be level 17. So switching from 17 to 20 is a really nice damage buff. Now let's talk about upgrades. To be able to easily farm tier 16 maps, first you will need to get 6-link chevron wrappings and upgrade your body armor. The current price in Harvest League is around 7 exalted orbs. When you get this body armor, you can respec Chaos Inoculation and switch to low life. You will need to link level 19 Blood Magic with Malevolence. which will be your third aura. To save some currency, you can try to use your garden and plant seeds that can give 6 sockets and 6 link crafting options. Then you can buy this body armor without links and use your garden to make it 6 link. Next, you need to craft or buy 6 link standard essence drain bow. Crafting cost is between 9 and 10 exalted orbs. If you buy it from trade, it will be more expensive. The good news, at least Soulstrike Unique Weaver is cheap. If you need help with crafting this bow, you can watch my video from the Delirium League. Next, you will need to upgrade the amulet and get Presence of Chayula with Tranquility Anointment. This amulet will give immunity to stuns, high amount of energy shield, and on top of that, plus 60% to chaos resistance. Next, start saving currency for Empower level 4. You will need 2, one to use in the bow and one to use in body armor. Until you buy those level 4, you can use much cheaper level 3 gems. Next, you will need to buy or craft rings like this. To craft, you will need to buy minimum item level 82 Moonstone rings, Crusader based, and use dense fossils. 2 rings like this will increase your energy shield for around 1500. The main reason they are so important. For more defense, you should get unique flask, the Sword of Divine. With this flask, life regeneration is applied to energy shield. Now, with 6 link standard essence drain bow, 6 link chevron wrappings, good rings and presence of Chayula amulet, you will be able to easily farm tier 16 maps. For clearing maps, Bane goes to bow and essence drain is in body armor. This will give Bane insane damage, and it is reason why you don't need to use Contagion plus Essence Drain to clear maps. When you need to run endgame bosses like Sirius or Uber Elder, you will need higher single target damage, so you take Bane, Despair and Temporal Chains out of the bow and switch with Essence Drain, Efficacy and Control Distraction inside body armor. When Essence Drain is in bow, your single target damage will be much higher. At this point, your gems and links should look like this. Now, if you don't mind spending more currency for this build, you will be able to buy or craft even better gear. Let's start with cluster jewels. They are expensive, but they are the best way to increase your damage and energy shield, your main defense. You will need 1 large, 2 medium and 2 small cluster jewels. Here is a short explanation of which jewels are the best. On PoE website, first choose large cluster jewel. For this build, the best cluster jewel is with base 12% increased chaos damage, and best notable is Unspeakable Gifts, Wicked Paul, and let's see, Misery or Everlasting, which will give 25% increase Dispel Curse effect and 10% increase skill effect duration. Now, for medium, let's select medium cluster jewels. For medium cluster jewels, you can pick 2 bases. One is with 4% to chaos damage over time multiplier, and the second is to damage over time multiplier. Those bases give the same amount of damage. Only problem, chaos damage over time multiplier base is much harder to craft. There are many notables that you don't need, and it's hard to get one you need. The best 2 to have on your medium cluster jewels are let's see, Vaal Reinvigoration, which is really nice combination of damage and increased maximum energy shield. And second one, you can pick either Brush with Death or Wicked Power. If you decide to craft base with 4% to damage over time multiplier, the best two are Brush with Death and Vaal Reinvigoration. And now let's check small cluster jewels. The best one is with 6% increased maximum energy shield as a base. And the best notable is first increase maximum, and best notable is energy from Not. As you can see, this notable gives plus 100 to maximum energy shield. The next upgrade is a belt. If you need help with crafting belt like this one, you can watch my video from the Delirium League. After the belt, you can start working on your boots. As you can see, I went with less energy shield and with mod cannot be frozen, which is really nice to have for this build. Again, if you need help with crafting, you can watch my video from the Delirium League. Now, let's talk about the helmet. To craft helmet like this, with nearby enemies have -9 to chaos resistance, you need to buy helmet minimum item level 85 without influence. With Labyrinth Enchant, 30% increased Despair Curse effect. Now use Hunter Exalted Orb on this helmet and add Hunter Influence. Now you can craft nearby enemies have -9 to chaos resistance mod by using dense and aberrant fossils. To craft gloves like this, you will need to get Elder Base gloves, minimum item level 80, and try to get tier 1 mod, 13 to 16% to chaos damage over time multiplier. I like to craft these gloves with alteration orbs. Next upgrade you can get is unique jewel with implicit corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you, which is a nice quality of life improvement. To increase the damage, you can replace some of your support gems with awakened versions. Try to get awakened swift affliction, void manipulation, and control destruction. At level 5, they will give a nice damage boost. Now, the next 4 upgrades are really expensive. First, you can upgrade your standard Essence Drain bow with a fossil crafted like this. The best way to craft is to use 4 socket resonators with faceted, metallic, jagged, and corroded fossils. Next, you can replace your body armor and use one like this with 2 implicit. When Bane is socketed in this armor, it will increase its level for 4 levels. Next, to increase your damage, you can buy Bottled Fate Unique Flask. In Delirium League, for this flask I paid 22 Exalted Orbs. This flask only drops inside Cortex Synthesis map from the boss. Also, I forgot to mention another unique flask, which is nice to have and costs much less. And finally, the most expensive item is Watcher's Eye Jewel like this one, which I paid 75 Exalted Orbs in Delirium League. It has 2 good mods, damage over time multiplier while affected by Malevolence, and gain 18% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield while affected by Clarity. If by any chance there was a 3rd good mod on this jewel, the price would be much higher. Now you may be asked, is this everything about upgrades? The answer is no, it is not. If you wish to increase your damage even more, you can craft double influence gloves, belt, and amulet. Especially nice is amulet like this, which will increase level of Bane and Essence Drain for another 2 levels. And last upgrades are special for the Harvest League. In your garden, you can add Synthesis Implicit, which is the most important for our bow. The best implicit to add is +1 to level of socketed gems. Combine this with fossil crafted bow and double influence amulet, and your Bane or Essence Drain when socketed in the bow will be level 34. And I almost forgot about possible change to passive tree. With some changes like this, where you remove these 13 passives, you can pick another large cluster jewel. If you have any questions about this build, You can leave them in comments or contact me inside the game. My IGN is McRedHarvest. This will be all for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.